and everything's wet. So everything's wet. Hold on. Wait. Really try. I know it's all right. I know y'all should apologize for y'all's fly. Those Houston flies, you know how they are. Always want the spotlight. And I thought flies don't live long, and they live so long. Thank you. Trying to dodge it. God, I almost got it. If someone walked in right now, it looks like this is what the show is. Like it's just, this is how far, like we have Wi-Fi's down. We're now just paying to watch a man try to slap a fly. And like a lot of people show up. It's pretty fun, you know, like it goes. People repeat stories quick. I bet the average person has 3 stories, like 3 good stories.
If I'm at a party,
it's more than I got,
and I say something that makes people laugh, I'll hit different groups at that party.
You go on tour with it the dinner party.
Yeah, that's what my thing is for that party. Mm-hmm. And once I've hit everyone, I leave.
Yeah. And this old man walks up to me and goes, "Olivia?" He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on at a car that he does not recognize. None of this is enough to not make him say it. He was like, "Olivia?" I covered up and I was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "All right, honest mistake." I was like, "God, that hurts worse than saying Olivia." I don't know who he offended more, me or Olivia. I think we could both have a word with him. I'd love to meet her.
Inside a building, that's all you want, you know? One of the last like kind of bombs I had, I was doing it. So as comedians, we do a lot of corporate events, and I was doing this corporate event in Tampa, Florida, and it was for this guy. He ran Tampa's electricity or something. I don't know what anybody does, but he invented the electricity in Florida. So yeah, he's doing real good. He was a very nice guy. He's very generous. He was all his employees. He was raffling off 2 cars. He gave away a bunch of TVs, iPads. I mean, honestly, probably $100,000 worth of gifts he was giving back to his employees. Very nice. Well, I was one of these gifts that he was giving back. So in the middle of giving this stuff away, he stops and goes, "All right, got a big surprise for you. Can't believe we got this guy to come here." And he brings me out. I mean, nobody's heard of me at all. I mean, they're all looking at it like, I think I could get this guy to come to my house. I mean, who is? I start doing my act. I do 1 hour. And just 0 laughs. I mean, nothing. And I'm not doing new jokes. I'm doing the greatest hits. I told the iced coffee with milk story 3 times. I kept just doing it. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it one more time. I don't think y'all were listening. People were leaving. The guy that drove me asked someone that left, and he just goes, "Hey, is the comedy show almost over?" And the guy goes, "I don't even know what you're talking about." There's a guy giving a speech up there right now, so maybe after that. So we get done, and then the guy comes up. You know, I have to talk to him. And I was like, "Look, I'm sorry, man. I used to be able to do comedy, and I lost it. You know, it's over." And he was very nice. He goes, "No, it's all right. Nothing's your fault." And I was like, "All right, I don't know how that's possible." And he goes, "Well, when you were up there, I remembered that most of my employees do not speak English." And I was like, "All right, yeah, they'll do it, you know. Maybe don't hire an English-only speaking comedian." No heads up at all. Not that I could have changed it up, but it just would have been nice to know, you know. All seriousness, though, global warming, we gotta stop it. Or more of it. I don't really know which way we want to go, but it can't stay warmer. I know that. It's got to be one or, something's got to happen. Something can't stay where we're at. So go, I don't know what direction you want me to just go. Let's use this as a platform for global guys. I felt like, as a spokesperson for all of Earth, all right? I think I'll give you a message that I don't think no one will give you. And I'm here to say that we're doing fine. So just relax. We're doing great, all right? I did some research. And I was like, let me look at the other planets. Let's see how good they're doing. And I don't want to, it's unbelievable. They're nowhere right now. I went up to this guy and I was like, "Hey man, do you guys sell hammocks?" He he's like, what's a hammock? And it threw me off enough that I was like, am I saying it wrong? I was like, I think I'm saying it wrong, because you know what it is. And I was like, is it hammock with a T? Does that sound right? Like, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, we're out of hammocks. We're out of them. It's hammock season. And I left, went to my car, Googled where to buy a hammock. And Google was like, do you mean hammock? I was like, I sure do, Google. Where were you at during all of this? I travel all the time. And if I fly Delta, if I buy a ticket through Delta's system, my name in their system is Nathan. And on my license, my name is Nathaniel. I do not remember making this decision. It's a big deal. You can't just change it. I've tried. I've asked Delta if they could change it, and they're like, we can't change it. And you're like, then I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, you know? If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? No. What you have to do, you have to mail your birth certificate in. Some moms give their children their birth certificates. I've never received mine. I thought I was the proof of my birth. And you got to mail it in. I've never been a big mail it in guy. I've mailed maybe 4 letters my entire life. I just never done it. Stamps make me nervous because I don't know how many you're supposed to put on. Where they're going to be like, you should put one more on. And they changed the price of stamps, and that's not in the news, you know. You don't find that out on Twitter. You have to find out from old people. They're the only people that know. They keep up with it. They're like, stamps went up. You're like, okay. All right. Is it $100? Like, they're furious. They're like, is it $100 a stamp? It's 3 more pennies. So, I will never go through that process to get my name changed, so I just deal with it. And it gets... my parents are getting older. So my mom, we had her go pick up our daughter recently at a friend's house, and I texted her the address. She drove to the wrong house. So she knocked on the door, another grandmother answered. Well, this is not good. This is like 2 dogs seeing each other through a fence. They're going to be there for a while, you know? So my mom, she knocks on the door. My mom goes, is my granddaughter in there? And that lady goes, I have 3 grandsons, so no solution. Just 2 grandmothers. Just, do you have stuff? I have stuff too. They talked for 30 minutes. It's a wrong door. I had to go get my daughter, then find my mom. I was in San Francisco, and I bet there's a bunch of fun coffee places, and I live in my dumb world that I just want this one little drink. So I go into a Starbucks, and I get to the front, and I was like, I'll take an iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And then she goes, iced coffee with cream? I go, iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And she said it one more time. She said, so iced coffee with cream? And at that point, I should have said, what's going on right now? Where are you at in your head? Because I feel like we're in 2 different places. But I was nervous, and there was people behind me, and I was like, cream or no cream? Honestly, I'll give you $20 if you let me leave right now. I cannot, this is the most I can talk about this. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So I paid. I go stand in line, you know, where you got to wait for your drink. There's like 5 of us waiting for our drinks. So she puts the iced coffee up there first, no cream. And I was like, whatever. I'll just do it myself. You know, like I don't like doing it myself, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So before I could get it, she's walked back with a can of whipped cream and she's shaking it. And I'm just looking at it like thinking that's someone else's. I'm like, someone's getting whipped cream. That's fun. One of you guys are getting whipped cream? And I look down and she starts spraying the whipped cream on top of my iced coffee. She just yells out, iced coffee, whipped cream, yells it out. The other 4 people, they turn their back. Like they don't want you to accidentally think that's what they ordered. And I'm just left alone, like, that's what you thought I said over there? You don't think I would have said iced coffee with whipped cream? You think I'm just some nut job? It's like, I've had too many problems in this Starbucks, so I'm going to use the words that I want and no other words. Iced coffee, whipped cream cup. And they didn't have a top for it, so whipped cream, it doesn't sink and become less embarrassing. It moves. It's like a buoy in an ocean that everybody sees. And I'm just walking through the crowd like, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you guys drink this at all. Is anybody? Nobody does this? I'm surprised. And I walked outside and threw it away and tried again at a different. People always talk to me very easy too, or dumb. Like if I talk to a stranger, I can always feel it. And I think it's my eyes. I have big eyes, you know? And so I just get a lot of like, you still with me, man? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, man, I'm listening. And he goes, all right, I don't know, felt like you could be anywhere.
Pretty dumb guy. Just, I think it's pretty obvious. And I think, I've thought about like time travel. Like if I went back in time, knowing everything I know now, I don't think I would make a difference. I don't think you would even hear about it. If I went back to the 20s and I like saw some guy on like an old phone, I'd be like, hey, eventually they have phones you just carry in your pocket. And he'd be like, yeah, how do they do it? It's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's like a satellite or something. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? Well, I shouldn't have even brought that up then. I don't know how they're doing it. It's like a round metal dish or something that's got to go pretty high in the air. I honestly don't think I could prove I'm from the future. I mean, they would want some proof, you know? Who's the next president? Oh, boy.
What I think is going to help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did. And I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, it's 170%. I think I'll get through. And this is what he told me. This is honestly what he said. He goes, look, man, I get it. All right. He's trying to relate to me. And he was like, my name's Joseph. That's what's on my license. So I can't buy a ticket under my nickname Bart. They're not going to let me through. And he said it like, right? Like, do you know what, does that make sense? And I was like, that doesn't at all. Those are two different names, all right? I should be over there and you should be over here because that's how you're treating me. Like I'm a Joseph Bart. I got in trouble with my wife because like on her last birthday, I got her an oven, all right? Pretty nice oven, take it easy. And the reason I bought an oven, because like I know, like the vacuum, her other favorite toy as a kid was the Easy Bake Oven. So to go with her big girl vacuum, I got her. So to go with her big girl vacuum, I got her a like grown up adult oven. Like there was heart behind it. Like that's not, you know, like that's not impressive. If she came home and bought me a truck and it turned into a live robot, I would lose my mind. My parents used to watch a show called Rescue 911. And it would just show reenactments of crimes. And it was powerful. I've seen 3 seconds of Rescue 911. I remember walking through the living room. My parents are watching it. I look at the TV. A guy has a ski mask on. And a woman is asleep with her feet out from under the covers. And he started rubbing her foot. That's all I saw. I kept walking. I don't know what happened before or after. But I know I've never been able to sleep with my feet out from under the covers. Because I accidentally saw that 30 years ago. And my feet get so hot, and I want to put them out so bad. I mean, I try it every night for 30 years, and then that image pops in my head, and I yank them right back up. I'll be in a hotel room, and I'm like, look, you can't get in here, dude. You've locked everything. And I'm like, that's exactly what he's been waiting for. He's probably already in here. You know, I feel like in a marriage, you have one of you is a dreamer. You know, money's not real. Let's have fun. Let's go do fun stuff as much as we can. And the other person hates fun. And that's how you make a marriage. You can't have two dreamers. You're going to be homeless in an hour. You need someone that just walks around. Is fun happening? I'd like to put a stop to that. Are y'all having fun? Stop it. Is the air conditioner on? Turn it off. I married my dad is who I married. I was just honest with her, and I told her, I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's very sick, and she's older.
I'm married.
She's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as much as you can right now."
Thanks.
And she took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, "You got to tell kids over and over again."
Just
I
like,
kind of kept telling her, "I don't want this to be a surprise." And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer. I mean, we were way off on when we thought she was going to die.
My wife will tell me,
but I already started telling my daughter, I didn't want to stop.
I don't like the way she talks.
So I just kept it up for 6 months. Every day I was like, she'll die.
I think if it was like a chick voice, I just hate it. Just to
she
go
will
to couples
die.
therapy.
I will die. Your mom's dead.
Like it's not.
I was just honest with her, and I told her, I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's very sick, and she's older, and she's going to die soon.
It's
this
the
happens,
information
so just love her as
that
much
she
as you
chooses
can right
to
now."
tell me at
And she
times.
took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day,
took a
I kind
trip,
of told her again, "You got to tell kids over and over again."
And
I kind of
her
kept
and
telling
our
her, I didn't want
daughter
this to be a
are flying
surprise.
from Nashville,
And then
where we
Annie
live.
surprised
And I'm
us by
flying from
living
Detroit.
6 months
We're
longer.
meeting at Fort
I mean,
Lauderdale
we
Airport.
were way off.
I have to
on
find
when we
them
thought
when
she
they
was going to
land.
die.
So I called her
I already
'cause I was
started
about
telling
to
my
take
daughter,
off,
I didn't
and
want
I
to
was like, all right,
stop
what time
and then
do
have
you
to
guys
start
leave?
it again.
She goes,
So I
noon.
just kept it up
And it was
for 6
11:30 and
months.
they're still at home.
Every day I was like, she'll
Laura,
die.
I don't know.
All right,
if you even know what an airport is.
She will die. I will
But
die.
if that
Your
plane
mom's
was in our
dead.
driveway, I don't think you could make it.
I was just honest with her, and I told her, I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's very sick, and she's older, and she's going to die
She
soon.
said,
This
"That's what
happens,
time
so
you
just
leave
love
from
her
the
as much
airport.
as
Our
you
flight's
can
not
right
till
now."
1:30.
And she took
I
it
was
as
like,
good
all
as a
right.
5-year-old can
All
take it.
right.
So the next day,
So,
I kind of
what
told
do
her
you think I
again,
wanted
"You got
to
to tell
know
kids
when
over
I
and
asked
over again."
that?
I kind of kept telling her, I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer.
Is that what
I
you
mean,
thought the
we
best
were
time
way
you could
off
give me
on
was
when we
a
thought
time
she was
that
going to
means
die.
nothing to nobody?
But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to
What
stop.
time did you go to
and then
bed
have to
last
start
night?
it
Just tell me
again.
that, and I'll
So I
just look up
kept
all
it
the
up for
planes that
6
land in
months.
Florida. And
Every
I'll
day
guess
I was
which
like,
one
she'll
I
die.
think you're on.
All right, she will die.
She said,
She
"I'm
will
sorry,
die.
I don't talk the
I
way
will
you want me
die.
to talk.
Your
Like, I want
mom's
you to
dead."
talk like a regular person, all right?"
I was just honest with her, and I told her, I
you've
set her
been
down.
around
I said, "Look,
people
Annie's
before,
very sick,
you know?
and she's older, and she's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as
We
much
didn't
as you
talk
can
in
right
Florida,
now."
I'll tell
and
you
she
that.
took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, "You got to tell kids over and over again." I kind of kept telling her, I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie
She's good at not
surprised
talking
us
to
by
me. She
living
can go a long
6 months
time.
longer.
She could
I
do her
mean, we
whole
were
marriage
way
career.
off on when we thought she was going to die. But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to
because they're
stop
all
and then have to
very
start it
dumb.
again. So I just
I would
kept
say
it up
90%
for 6 months.
10%.
Every day I was
Top
like, she'll
shelf.
die. All right, she will die. She
We
will
got in a
die.
fight,
I will die. Your
once
mom's
over
dead.
chocolate milk.
I was just honest with her, and I told her, I
We
set her
didn't
down. I
talk
said,
for
"Look, Annie's
24
very
hours.
sick, and she's older, and she's going to die soon. This happens,
happened
so just
is
love her
I
as much as
brought
you can right now."
chocolate milk home,
and she took it as
and
good
she
as
was
a
like, "Why did
5-year-old
you
can
bring
take
it home?"
So the next
And I was
day,
like,
I
"You're
kind of
supposed
told
to
her
drink it
again, "You got to
after
tell
you
kids
work
over
out."
and over again." I kind of kept telling her, I didn't want this to be a surprise.
She was like, "That's not
and
true."
then
And I was
Annie
like, "Well,
surprised
there's a
us by
commercial on
living
TV.
6
They
months
probably
longer.
looked into it more than
I
you
mean,
did.
we
So
were way off on when
I
we thought
decided
she was
to
going to
listen to
die.
them.
But I already started telling my
And she
daughter
said,
I didn't want
"That's
to
just the milk
stop
people
and then have to
pushing
start it
chocolate
again.
milk." And I was
so
like,
I just
"You
kept
don't
it up
know
for 6
what that
months.
statement means.
Every
You
day
don't
I was
know
like,
if
she'll
there's
die.
milk people.
All right,
I think
she will
chocolate
die.
milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it.
She will die. I will
We
die.
got to make
Your
up a
mom's
lie.
dead.
We got to get rid of this chocolate milk.
I was just honest with her, and I told her, I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's very sick, and she's older, and she's going to
She
die
went to
soon.
college.
This happens, so
all right,
just love her
and
as
I
much
did
as you
not.
can right
But
now."
she did not
And she took it
study
as good as a
chocolate
5-year-old
milk.
can
When
take
is it good
So
and
the
not
next
good
day,
for
I
you?
kind of told her again, "You got to tell kids over and over again." I kind of kept telling her I didn't want this to be a
To be
surprise.
fair to her,
and then
though,
Annie
I
surprised
do
us
not
by
work
living
out.
6 months
So,
longer. I mean, we were way off on when we
but I
thought
was
she was going to
probably
die.
gonna start, and I needed
But
to get all
I
this
already
stuff
started telling my
there.
daughter I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again. So I just kept it up for
You ever get
6
in those
months.
fights like you'll be at home like
Every
all
day I was
you
like,
and your
she'll
spouse
die.
and you guys
All
are
right,
not talking to
she
each
will
other and you're in the house together.
She
No
will
kids,
die.
the house is
I will
quiet.
die. Your mom's
And
dead.
You just stay on opposite ends and then you pass
I was just
each
honest
other
with
in
her,
the hallway.
and I told her, I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's
That's
very
like the
sick.
funniest part of
She's
it, 'cause you
older,
don't live in a
and
mansion,
She's
you have
going to
one
die soon.
hallway.
This happens, so just love her as much as you can
and
right
you
now.
just didn't time
And
it
she
out
took
right.
it as good as a
You just have to
5-year-old
walk
can
by
take.
each other.
So the next
like
day, I kind of
strangers.
told her
You're like,
again, "You got to
"Excuse
tell
me."
kids over and over again."
Yeah, no.
I kind of kept telling her I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6
She'll be
months
watching
longer.
TV. I'm like, "Man,
I
are you
mean,
watching
we
this?"
were
I couldn't
way
tell.
off
I was going to
on when
change
we
it
thought
if
she
you
was going
weren't
to
watching
die.
it.
But I already started telling my daughter her. I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again.
It's the
so
silent
I just
treatment.
kept it
Silent
up for
treatment
6
is,
months.
it's a very common thing.
Every day I was
knows
like,
what it
she'll
is.
die. All right.
I think women are just born knowing it. I don't think you're taught it.
She will die.
I don't think
I
it's
will
like,
die.
my
Your
mom
mom's
did it,
dead.
Her mom.
My wife was with me when I had that job. She's been with me way before where we're at right now. She was in it for the benefits. I got at the water company. We've been married 17 years. And I know, the longer I'm married, the more I realize why she was put in my life. I would not be here if she was not in my life. I know all of this. Now, I've also become very reliant on her because of this. I don't know anything about me. Like, I don't know what I like and don't like to eat. I mean, someone would be like, you want to try this? And I got to get her involved? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know how long to microwave something. I have to ask her every time, as if her family invented the microwave. A pizza party is my nightmare. I'll have friends over for pizza, so I'll be like, all right, we got to order pizza. And she goes, how much? I go, order the most. I don't want her out of pizza in front of my friends. And she goes, just call and ask them. I go, I can't call these 40-year-old dudes and just be like, how much pizza do you think you're going to eat tonight? They have a family. They work in a building right now. And you may just call them back, do you have big lunch today? No, I would try to save money, so I need to know exactly how much pizza you're going to eat in 8 hours.
We got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, well, there's a commercial on TV that probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? I almost joined the Army when I was 18 just because they called. That was the only reason. I thought I got picked. I was like, oh, wow, this is an honor. Like, I also signed up for a JCPenney credit card at 18 because they called, and I was like, man, this day is getting crazier and crazier. I would love it. I would love a credit card. I just got called for the Army. I'll go get some stuff. My mom had to go get me out of all of that. My mom had to call the Army and JCPenney in the same day. She was like, he's not doing any of this. He got to the phone quicker than he usually does. So now we are basically at Mount Rainier. If you ever go, just so you know, you have to pay to go up it. It's not a free mountain. Someone bought it, and they're charging tickets. It's also all uphill. It's a nightmare. So be ready for those things. We drive up, we park, and we're walking up the trail. So we're going up it halfway. I mean, I can barely breathe. And this couple's coming down, so I stopped them. I was like, hey, is this enough where we're at? You know, is this like, you get it. Like, we're not trying to live on this mountain. And the lady goes, I'm 75 years old, and I did it. And I was like, all right, maybe that's why you didn't hear the question that I asked. Everybody's pretty cocky on the way down. I mean, there was women with babies. They had 3-month-old babies strapped to their chest. I was like, why would you bring that much extra weight with you? I left my wallet in the car.
I travel a lot, obviously, so she'll be at home with our daughter. We have a wonderful daughter, as you have seen. But I know it's hard because she's home. My wife has to be the mom and the dad and the good and the bad parent, and I come home and I'm super fun. Or I'll mess up the routine. This is just stuff she tells me. And like when I go home, I'll go lay in bed with our daughter, and then we get in trouble for talking. I'm not the one talking, by the way, but we get yelled at as if I'm the one talking. I do get it, because I don't think of the consequences with everything. Like, we have one dog. I would like another dog. My wife does not want another dog, because it's a lot. It's a lot to have 2 dogs, because you gotta open the back door and let 2 dogs out. I rewatched the movie Sixth Sense.
And I'm not trying to do a Sixth Sense joke. This is a 20-year-old movie. I also have to spoil it, but it's 20 years old. So if you don't know by now, I don't know what to tell you, you know? And don't be like, we're going to watch it tonight. We're going to go to Blockbuster on the way home, and so he's dead the whole time, and I don't know. That's, if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty big part of it. But for those that have, think about when you watched it. When we all saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in our life, you know? We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead. And I was like, when I watched it, I was like, what do they show him dying? Yeah, that guy shoots him with a gun. That's how the movie starts. That's how obvious they're like, hey, he's dead. And we still watched it for 2 hours, just like, I know what this guy's going through, you know? This is a movie about marriage and how hard marriage is. Yeah, even if you get shot, it's your fault. So a lot of hotels now, they have Chromecast, and you can watch like Netflix in your hotel room. So I get in my room, and I turn it on, and my Chromecast is not working. So I call down to the front desk, and the oldest voice I ever heard answered the phone. This guy was a Civil War survivor. I mean, he was the age where you just go, thank you for your service. And it's like, was in the Army? You're like, probably, man. I mean, there's an age where like they all had to go at that age, so just say it. So I tell him, I go, hey, my Chromecast is not working. And I could have just made up a word. I mean, he's never heard of that. I could have said, my beep bop broke. I mean, he asked if I was staying at that hotel. That's how he goes, are you staying here? I was like, do you think I've called the front desk from a different hotel room? So he goes, look, I don't know what this is, but there's a younger guy here. I'm going to send him up. He'll be able to help you. And I was like, great. So that guy comes up, and he knocks on my door. I open it. He's my dad's age. And, I mean, right when I see him, you're like, all right, dude, we don't have to do this, you know? I mean, I know you've heard of it, but if I can't fix it, you're not going to be able to fix it. But he's the generation that still wants to give it a try. So I got to let him in. So he comes in my room, sits on my bed, a little too far back, I thought. I just remember like the back of his calves were touching the bed, and I was like, are your feet dangling? How far back are you going to go? Are you cold? Do you want some covers, man? He gets the remote and just starts pressing all the buttons, and I said, I don't know if that's going to do it. And he goes, let's just keep trying it, though. I go, all right. I'm going to turn the shower on, open a window. Let's try everything, you know? Let's just see. Maybe it turns on. Who knows? Maybe it's all connected. So we can't get it. And he goes, all right. He goes, there's a younger guy. He's about to come to work. And at this point, I'm like, I'm the younger guy, man. I was like, it's all right, dude. I don't need it. And he goes, no, it's a millennial. And I was like, all right. Now we're getting somewhere, you know? This is what the millennial does. He was born with technology. He's going to know how to fix this. I was excited. I was like, great. He goes, he comes to work in an hour. I go, wonderful. And let me tell you, you know how quick that millennial fixed it? Well, I'll never know because he just didn't come to work that night. So didn't call in, nothing. And I found out because the old guy called me because he was supposed to fill in for him. He was furious, dude. He hates that millennial. He goes, he never comes to work. He doesn't take it serious. He's got a peanut allergy. And I was like, all right, well, I ended up fixing it myself because it was just unplugged. So that's my fault. Our DJ was awful, and that's because we got my mom to hire the DJ. I don't know who thinks to ask someone in their 50s for DJ recommendations. No one ever is like, Mom, were you in with the local DJ scene by any chance? She hired someone older than her. He just had CDs, and this was when computers were doing real good. He got super drunk, played the same song 3 times in a row. White Wedding, which he said was by Billy Joel. He only had one leg, seriously, and that's fine, you know, no one cares until he starts messing up, and then you're like, why does he have one leg?
They did a thing on 60 Minutes about, like, do you know you can buy a tiger here? Like, in this, like, if you guys want to buy a tiger tonight, I could get you in touch with someone that does have tigers. I don't know if I can. It's a real, you can't buy a tiger here in the U.S. They did an undercover, like, reporting on it, and my favorite part was they asked the guy that sells tigers, they were like, so do you think it's, like, too easy to buy a tiger in this country? And the guy was like, yeah, it's like, it's way too easy. And you know what? That's why America's the best, all right? I didn't even know you could buy tigers. Like, I would have been embarrassed to ask. And then I come and find out I don't really have to jump through hoops if I do want to buy a tiger. It's not an all-day thing, it's like an hour. I'll be right back with our tiger. And everybody wants to take away guns, you know, it's like we gotta get everybody's guns. But then that makes me nervous, because I think if you take away guns from people, those are the exact same people that will buy tigers. And that's a much bigger problem, all right? Like, you're probably gonna be like, look, here's your gun back. And they're like, no, I'm good, dude. My tiger is way better than my gun. My gun missed all the time. My tiger rarely misses. Even if he does miss, it's just for a second, you know? Like, it's never... Like, if the guy dodges, he's like, your dumb tiger missed. It's like, I mean, it did not. It is right behind you now. And, yeah, he's pissed about it. So... It is very exciting to be here. Not all shows, though, are like this. I did a show in a prison once. All the way in it. We went in it. There's few more people than this. We go in, let's say, like, you guys are like the inmates. So I'm like sitting here, I'm doing my dumb jokes. None of them work. Every joke I have involves being outside in the past 30 years. Like, nothing's relatable. I'm like, traffic's crazy. Do you guys remember? Who remembers traffic? An inmate gets up and starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. You know, like, I've seen movies, like, he's going to use me to break out. So I don't want to point at him, you know, but I am trying to draw. I'm like, the weather's been, like, pretty crazy. Should he be walking up like that? Turns out he's just going to the bathrooms. They're right behind me. He's a good guy. I judged him on what he was wearing and where we were at. It was my fault. He goes in, the bathrooms are not, they're like open. So I'm against this like brick wall, and I'm like standing, it goes like halfway up. So it's me, a brick wall, and then the urinals. And he just comes out and then comes and pees at picks the one right behind me. And so it's just me and him just standing there. He's peeing, I'm like trying to talk. And he just pees without even kind of a problem. It was the most confidence I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I thought, whatever you think this guy did it, all right? That's not, an innocent man doesn't pee like that. That's a guy, he's not getting out. I took social media off my phone. I have Instagram still on there. I feel like it's still okay. It's like, it's safe. Twitter's like, I feel like it's just like celebrities telling you you're the worst. That's all it is, all day. Whether it's like the presidential election, everybody's furious. And then there's a big pipeline thing. Remember that? They're like, we got to stop this pipeline. We're like, yeah, we do. I don't even know where this is at. I couldn't find it. Right now, I don't know what was in the pipe. I don't know if the pipe was above ground, but it was like, we got to stop. People have stuff there, and you can't be throwing pipes. You can't just throw pipes everywhere you want to throw pipes, you know? And it just... I follow Leonardo DiCaprio, you know? I'm a big fan. Just want to see what that guy's life is like. He tweets nothing fun out. I've learned that. He tweeted out 100 million sharks get killed a year by people. Just threw that. No solution. I'm just at home in Tennessee, nowhere near an ocean. So many sharks. If you told me to guess how many sharks were alive, I would never have guessed 100 million. I don't know, a million? I don't know. Like, who knows how many sharks there are? I tweeted back. I was like, all right, dude, I won't kill any sharks. I don't know. Is that what you wanted out of this? I won't do it. I've never even been near a situation where I thought I might have to kill this shark. Never even met a guy that's pet a shark, but I'm not getting involved now. Facebook is more, that's your like friends telling you you're the worst. It's more local. No one has a good day on Facebook. It's everybody's worst days of their lives. And you'll be like the first thing you look at. You like wake up and you like cut it on and then just be like, do you want to see a murder video? You're like, I don't at all. I just woke up. I'm just trying to see whose birthday it is, you know? And they're just like, well, we already started playing it. So, and you're like, all right, I guess I'll watch that. My wife gets mad because I don't like any of her photos. She's like, why don't you like any of my photos, you know? And it's like, is this not enough, us living together and stuff? I don't... And I did like it. When we took it, I said I like it. I told you I like it. I looked at it. I'm in it. I'm in the photo. There's not much more I can do with this photo. We've been together my entire life. Since we started dating when I was like 21. I'm 37 now. And like I went from like my mom to her. So I don't even know what it feels like to not have some lady be like, I don't know if I would do that, you know. And now we have a daughter, so I'll never know. I'll never know. We get in fights, you know, still. And when you're married for a long time, fighting is just, it can happen, it's open 24 hours, basically, at any time. We got in a fight recently at 3 a.m. We woke up to get in this fight. We have a dog, and our dog, like, freaks out when it thunders. And so we have sedatives to give her because there's only so many times you can tell a dog it's just thunder before you're like, she's not getting it, you know. And you're like, just take this, all right? So I woke up, I had to wake my wife up, and I was like, hey, where are the sedatives at? And she was like, they're at the top of the cabinet. So I go get them. I looked at the bottle, and the bottle said they were expired. So I had to wake my wife back up, and I was like, hey, these say they're expired. And she was like annoyed. She was like, they're not expired, all right? They're new pills in an old pill bottle. And I was like, all right, I should have thought of that. You know, that's my fault. I mean, we have people come to our house all the time and they get milk and they're like, is this milk expired? And I have to go, that's new milk in an old milk jug. Are you the stupidest person I've ever met? Why would you not assume that's what it is? That's roughly what I told her. It wasn't as fun as that. And then she goes all in and tells me it doesn't matter because dog medicine can't even expire. Which I was like, you've never even heard a rumor about that. You don't know that. We don't know any dog medicine people. I know who she knows. We don't know one dog medicine maker that's texting her like, hey, we're doing some pretty big things at the dog medicine factory. I wanted to let you know first, but we've invented medicine that can't expire. So feel free to tell your husband at 3 a.m. We do have a daughter as well. We took her to Disneyland when she was 2, and people told us that was a mistake. We didn't ask anybody, but they were happy to tell us. And they were like, you're just wasting money, you know, she's not going to remember it. And I was like, I don't know. She believes in Minnie Mouse. Minnie Mouse is like real to her. It's like fun to see her get excited, you know. Should I just lock her in a closet and be like, do you remember yesterday? No? Well, until you start remembering things, I'm not going to waste any of my money on you, all right? We're trying to discipline her too, and it's hard to discipline kids nowadays. You know, you can't do it. You can't spank them. You can't talk about it in a microphone for sure. So it's like, what do? You got to hope it works out. Spanking got like blown out of proportion because like you would see like a video of a lady like fighting her kid in a Walmart parking lot, and they were like, no, you're not supposed to spank. You're like, that was a regular fight. That's not like what we're talking about. I was spanked. My generation was. It was fine, you know. You ever talk to really old generations? They just act like they were beat with bats. They say stuff to you like, that doesn't sound like that should have been happening. You should have called the police or something. Like, the police would hit us as well. Everybody was hitting us. It's fun to be back home, though. I got my 20-year high school reunion is this year, and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty invested. I didn't go to college, so this is like the last group of people I met. So I mean, I cannot wait. I love it. I went to the 10-year, loved it. Suggested a 15, no one wanted it. Finally, the 20 is here. My buddy told me, he's like, I'm going to lose weight for our 20-year reunion. And that always like feels, you're like, why don't you lose it for the people that were in your life every day for the past 20 years? You've made your wife stare at your moose body for 15 years. Why don't you tone it up for her a little bit? He's like, no, I'll just save it for the people I hate. I'm going as is. Just, this is what happened. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I didn't work out then. I didn't start when I left. So I'm just seeing how it's going to go. I do zero working out. Not even, it's not like you're like, whoa, wow. Like it's like, yeah, we figured that. Every hotel I go to, I ask if they have a gym. I don't even have clothes that I could work out in. There's no way. I'm like, is it 24 hours? I was going to start tonight at midnight. So I was wondering if that's... What I've learned, what's easier than working out is just tell people that you used to weigh 300 pounds. That's a lot. They don't know, So I've never weighed 300 pounds, but I look pretty amazing for a guy that used to weigh 300 pounds. You're like, yeah, I got tired of being tired, all right, Today's my cheat day, obviously, but normally I'm pretty strict. I just don't eat anything healthy. I like apples, but I only like pre-cut apples. I won't eat a whole one, I'm not a horse, all right? So could you guys do some work over there at the apple factory, however apples get here? I've watched a lot of the documentaries that try to make you eat better. Like I watched Fed Up, and it's about all the food that I eat every day. There was nothing in it that I haven't had recently. You know that saying, like, I haven't had that in forever? I haven't said that in forever. There's nothing I haven't had. Airheads, that's usually something like, oh, are they still doing good? Yeah, they're doing great. They got more colors now. It's pretty fun, I go to too much, like, chain stuff. Like, that's, I can't think outside of, like, going to, like, a chain place. And they mess up all the time. But I still just go back. I'll go to McDonald's, and I'll have, like, the nerve to be, like, in the drive-thru, like, and be like, hey, guys, this said no onions, and this has onions. And they just look at me like, you're too old to be here, man. Don't come here. This is not a real restaurant, all right? I'm 11 years old. That guy's 90. Go to, like, you live near here. Go to a regular place. I had a whole issue at a Starbucks. I went into Starbucks, ordered iced coffee with milk. Nothing crazy, And the guy like looked at me weird. Like when you're like get something in your head, you're like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what I said. But you're like too far in. You're both touching the credit card, so you just got to go. All right, let's see what he thinks he heard. And I go to the end of the counter, and he gives me milk with ice in it. I had to ask him. I go, what is that? He goes, milk with ice in it. I was like, what do you think? Do I look like a psycho to you, dude? I've never ordered milk publicly in the history of my life. I've never once in my life been out and thought, you know what I could go for right now? A cup of milk. I'd love to do that. I'd love a cup of milk. I'd like to drink it out of a straw. Something else I've never done. Let's do that. And then let's put ice in it. Let's do something I didn't even know you could do. Let's do all that in front of all these people I don't know. And it was a Starbucks that was like in a Target. It wasn't even its own Starbucks. It was a Starbucks that's like, we don't really do everything. And I was like, do you do milk with ice in it by any chance? Is that something? I just go to all of them. And I still go. I go to, everybody messes up. I want them to do so much better. I went to Walmart. I go there. I'm fine with them, I'm a Walmart guy. Like, that's where I'm at. I went into one. I was trying to, and Walmart's, I would say Walmart's getting a little like, sometimes when you go in there, some of the people that work there are like, some of them, I don't even know. You'll be talking to them. I'm like, I don't even know if you work here, if you're a customer. Like, it's 50-50. But they're willing to help, which is nice. I went into one. I was trying to buy a hammock. So I go in. I go back to where I imagine the hammocks live, and I went up to this guy and I was like, "Hey man, do you guys sell hammocks?" And he was like, "What's a hammock?" And it threw me off enough that I was like, "Am I saying it wrong?" I was like, "I think I'm saying it wrong because you know what it is." And I was like, "Is it Hammett with a T? Does that sound right? Like, do you guys sell hammocks?" And he was like, "We're out of hammocks. We're out of them. It's hammock season." And I left, went to my car, Googled where to buy a hammock. And Google was like, "Do you mean hammock?" It's like, "I sure do, Google. Where were you at during all of this?" The other embarrassing part of that is, so it happened, and then I called like a comic buddy of mine to tell him the story. And I was like, "This is funny, right?" But then I asked him, I was like, "Hey, do you think if I tell people I was buying a hammock, is that going to come off like I'm bragging?" Like, for some reason, in my head, that's just like a wealthy purchase. Like, that's a hammock at Walmart. Like, an audience would be like, "Whoa, all right. I didn't know we were just hearing about how good you're doing." Man, what's it like to have two trees that close together? Is it nice? I heard it looks nice. I've seen pictures. I've had my one like fancy purchase. I had LASIK surgery, and we were living in New York, so I had it. It was in Manhattan. Got a deal on it, so that helps knock it down. It worked. You know, I can't see this side of the room, but besides that, this side I see almost too good. And no, it was fine. And they did a couple things that were weird. Besides the deal I got, that's. They want to show you the video, like before you have it. They're like, "Here, watch eye surgery," and you're like, "Just do it. I don't want to watch." Like, I trust. We're in a building. This seems like a real thing, so just go. If I was doing that out of some guy's van, I might ask that guy for a video. But you know, be normal. And the other thing, they didn't make me bring anybody. And I was like, "Should I bring someone to take me home?" And they're like, "No, most people can see." I was like, "You said most. You sure?" It's not a big deal. I'll tell someone where I'm at. They're like, "No, don't. Did you tell anybody where you're at? Don't tell anybody." So I go in. They give you a Valium. You go back and you do it. Then you get done. They give you those big sunglasses. And then I'm on a Valium. They're like, "You good?" You're like, "Yeah. This is like the funnest surgery ever. This has been a fun day, to be honest." And they're like, "Can you see?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, so I go down. I'm in Manhattan, so we get out and I start walking to go to the subway. Get a few blocks away, and then my eyes start hurting so bad, and I just want to keep them shut. You don't want to open them, and so I'm like, I can't get home. So I get my phone. I'm like blinking, and I get to my wife and I call her, and I was like, "You got to come get me. I can't see." You know, and I was like, "And you should have come too, by the way. All right, like, why are you not here?" So I was like, "You got to come find me. I don't know where I'm at. I've made turns." So I was like, "Just go back to that place and then just expand your search around buildings until you find me." And I just stood I put my hand on a building, and I just stood because I was afraid I would like drift out in the street and just be like just shuffling. And next thing I know, I'm in the middle of the road, just big sunglasses, which wouldn't be that different for New York, but. And so I'm just standing. I stood with my hand like this for like 30 minutes. I mean, we were to the point if anybody confidently just walked up, they could have taken me home. Next person that goes, "Let's go," I was living with them for the rest of my life. It's fun doing comedy because you get to travel so much. I fly a bunch, and it never gets easy when you fly. Like, you just think like every plane you're on is going to go down. It's not in a dark, you know. It's never relaxing. I had I've got on a plane once, and you ever get on and just look at everybody on it, and it just looks like a group that would go down in a plane crash. Like, for some reason. You're like, I feel like I've seen all of us before. I had a pilot tell us right before we took off that he was retiring, and this was his last flight. You're like, all right, why don't you just say that when we land, dude? Like, it's not like we're gonna be different people. We're the same people. He's basically just like, either way, this is my last flight. So, all I can tell you is I'm not flying again after that. I'm trying to get better. Like, when you travel now, you go to like different cities, it's like to actually go explore the town and like see stuff. I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and yeah, a couple of us, all right? And they have a big battleship there. And it's in it looks like it's a river because you can see across. It doesn't look big, but it's probably part of the ocean. It's like one of those where you're like, could I drink that water? Could I not? I don't know. You can't ask that. You can't ask someone how water works. So I didn't even go on it, but it's there. I just wanted you to not think I didn't see it if you go. But I looked up some other stuff to do. They have a thing there called Cape Fear Serpentarium, and it's just a guy's house. And he has a bunch of snakes, lizards, and a crocodile just in his house. He has the world record for being bitten by a viper snake. It's 7 times, which is it's a record no one is trying to get. It's so many times. He was bitten 3 times and then 4 more times after that. That's how many times he was bitten. 3's a ton, and then 4 more after is just too many. But I was like, I gotta go see this. This is gonna be amazing. So I go, I walk in. Right when you walk in, he's got a lobby set up. And in the lobby, he has 2 parrots and then a bunch of anti-government posters. That's like he just has those things. It's like 2 parrots and like a lot of stuff on chemtrails. He's basically just like, this is what I would love to talk to you about. And you're like, I just want to see some snakes, man. He's like, all right, but maybe later could I corner you and talk to you about it? And you're like, I don't know, let's see how the snakes go. So I went and I paid. It was $9, obviously cash only in a place like that. And so I give him my $9. I go up. First snake I see is a gaboon viper. It's a crazy venomous snake. And there's a story written out about how venomous it is. And the story was that these 2 kids broke into the Washington National Zoo in the early 1980s to steal a gaboon viper for whatever reason. So they get it. They put it in a trash bag. When they're walking out, they have the trash bag over their shoulder as if they forgot what they just did. The snake bites through the trash bag because it's a 1980s trash. It's not like a Glad one now, This was like when trash bags were not doing good. So it bit the kid. The kid went into a coma for 4 days, and then it was like, that's all we know. We don't know what happened. And you're like, that's the whole reason I'm even reading this, to see what... Did he die? Is he stronger? Are you him? Like, what's the rest of the story? So if you ever go, and you should go, 3 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, he feeds these things. So I looked at my watch. It was 3 p.m. I was like, all right, we'll go watch these things eat. So the first snake they go to feed is the black mamba. It's another crazy venomous snake that should not be in America outside of a zoo, especially not at a guy's house that hates America. So we're like, all right, we got to go see this. So we get down there. He puts a chicken wired fence around him. So if a snake gets out, he'll just get out of that fence pretty quick. The fence has holes in it that I would describe as a little bit bigger than a black mamba. And I mean, we're leaning on it. We're getting kids up against it. We're like, no, you get up here. Their kids' faces are against it. So we all stand around. He's a bucket of dead mice. He grabs a mouse. He throws it in there. He eats it. We all cheer, and then we move on. Next one we go to is 12-foot anaconda. This snake is huge. He props open the glass cage with a 2x4. That's how big it is. Props it up. No chicken wire fence. It's non-venomous. Worst case scenario, we're all going to wrestle this snake. So we're all standing there around. He gets his bucket back out, but this time it's got dead rabbits in it. And they're the biggest rabbits I've ever seen I would have paid $9 to see what that rabbit's life was like. Just to see that rabbit drive up that day. He gets these giant, 2-handed tongs that they look like they're for this. So he grabs a rabbit. He kind of steps back. He's going to make the snake come out and get it like he's hunting. So it's the rabbit, it's him, children, and then us. I mean, no, he's the only employee there. So we stand there. Luckily, the snake comes out. He gets the rabbit. He's like constricts it. It falls to the ground. He lifts it. He puts it back in. He goes, well, Easter Bunny's dead. Makes that joke for the kids. Yeah. And we waited for him to say he was joking. He did not. Yeah, he stared at the kids harder, almost to assure it. That's what it is. Then he goes, all right, you have permission to touch the snake. No one's asking. We're walking away. No one was like, I bet this is when we can pet him. They're leaving, and he makes the kids pet him. And they most don't want to touch the snake. Most are petting the rabbit he was eating. It was like the 30s. There's no rules in this place. It's like riding a ski lift. Like, you ever been on a ski lift and like halfway up you're like, hey, my bar didn't lock. Should it have locked? I don't do this ever. So the last one is the crocodile. We go to the crocodile. It's a 10-foot crocodile. This crocodile has been staring out at his cage at everybody. Like he's trying to remember you for supporting this guy. Like he's like, I'll find you one day. I mean, if he was in here right now with a hat on, I wouldn't be surprised. That's how nervous I am when I go out. So we all stand around. Crocodile's there. He unlocks the door. Door's unlocked. He gets his rabbit bucket, and he grabs a rabbit, and he's going to just open the door and like throw it in there and eat it and watch it. He grabs the rabbit. He gets it right here. The crocodile sees the rabbit and comes forward, hitting the door, which is unlocked and we learn also broken. Hits the door. The crocodile's momentum like just takes him out into the carpet like they were staying with us. The kid, there's a 10-foot crocodile just on the floor. So everybody just starts losing it. It's like a Godzilla movie. People are just running. Everybody's crying. People are crying real hard. Like just bawling. Everybody's dead behind you. You just assume it. You don't even look. Some lady was like, my husband. I was like, your husband's gone, lady. He's gone. We shouldn't be here. There's so many signs that say we shouldn't be here. And we just leave. Because the cobra was next. You're like, I don't know if the cobra's in a cage. Who knows where this cobra's at? He might have been watching this with us. This is a real story. And here's my proof. I have proof to this story. Is there's a TripAdvisor review from that day. It's not my review. I'm not a review guy. But someone reviewed it. And you can look at it. Go to TripAdvisor. Type in Wilmington, North Carolina, Cape Fear Serpentarium. When you get there, go to the reviews. They have 4 stars to 1 stars. If you want to see what I'm talking about, I would start at the 1 stars. They're all pretty fun to read, though. You know, 4 stars love it. They think the place is great. 3 and 2 stars, they're usually pretty hung up on the propaganda in the lobby. They can't get past that. And then just go to the 1 star that says, crocodile got out of the cage. It's the best 1-star review I've ever heard in my life. Like, just the most, oh, did that poster hurt your feelings? Did a crocodile get out when you were there? Because he got out with us, and we didn't think he should have been out with us. So 1 star. All right, thank you guys so much.
One thing I got when I hit my 40s was claustrophobia. Never had it. Actually got it here on the Simpsons ride, which is what's crazy. I mean, we're 100 yards away from where my life fell apart. I rode that ride with my daughter, and we're sitting on it, and we had another buddy, and he has his 2 girls on, and so we sit there, and they pull the bar down, and the bar, my leg gets stuck in the middle, and it just opened a door that I never knew was there. I mean, it's like a problem. I had to stop the ride. It's super embarrassing to stop a child's ride and just be like, I'm just waving. I'm like, I can't do it. And then they opened the bar and they go, all right, you can do it again. I was like, I'm out, dude. And no one got to ride it because I couldn't ride it. We all had to leave. Yeah, ruined it for everybody. And that's claustrophobia. It just kind of ruins everybody's time.
My wife and I, we got in the fight over the phrase one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. So my wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, you know? When you marry into divorce, I mean, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses?
She wanted to go visit her parents, and she said, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years. She's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband. And goes, perfect. Use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me and she goes, I want to go visit my parents. And I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, let's do it in one fell swoop. You know, let's swoop it up. I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, one fell swoop. I mean, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just like waited, and she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. And instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what one fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think two birds, one stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and you know when you walk home and you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. Now, that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife just came over, and she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I was like laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot because you're like, all right. Because you learn the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? And the next morning I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it because we didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her, I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? That got it going real good. But I felt so good about this argument, you know? I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it back up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I'd like to win a fight. We're going to die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Our marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So, the best wedding I've ever been to was my cousin's wedding. It was a real redneck affair. It was right outside Louisville, Kentucky, where my parents are from. And my cousin's name is Tuesday, which is a good start. The invitation said, Tuesday's getting married, rehearsals Friday, wedding Saturday. People were like, we got to be there Monday for this wedding? How long is this wedding? It's a week? We get there, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, nothing crazy. I'm wildly overdressed. I look like I work there. Everybody else just has a football or basketball jersey on. Nick's a little person, very fun. We started comedy together. He, very easy to trick. We were once at a coffee shop, and a guy was sitting near us with a big husky dog. And Nick just goes, hey, you think that's a wolf? And I just said, yeah, I do think it's a wolf. They just passed a law that if you can catch a wolf, you can have it as a pet. And he goes, should I go ask him about it? I was like, I mean, absolutely, you know? I mean, he wants to talk about it. That's why he brought that wolf out here. And I watched him walk over to him and just go, excuse me, is that a wolf? And the guy, I mean, he didn't really know how to answer it. He said, what? I mean, you think I brought a wild wolf to this coffee shop? And the wolf's just being cool about it? It's not losing its mind right now? My wife and I, we got in the fight over the phrase one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. So my wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, you know? When you marry into divorce, I mean, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses? She wanted to go visit her parents, and she said, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years, she's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband. And goes, perfect. Use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me and she goes, I want to go visit my parents. And I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, let's do it in one fell swoop. You know, let's swoop it up. I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, one fell swoop. I mean, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just like waited, and she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. And instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what one fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think two birds, one stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and you know when you walk home and you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. Now, that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife just came over, and she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I was like laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot because you're like, all right. Because you learn the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? And the next morning I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it. Because we didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her, I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? That got it going real good. But I felt so good about this argument, you know. I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it back up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I'd like to win a fight. We're going to die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Her marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So...
Say that throughout the whole thing. My name's Nate. It might be hard to understand me at some times. I'm from New York City. I'm just kidding. I'm from Nashville. I wear this shirt for a couple of reasons. So if I get questions like that, they're like, oh, Nashville. Okay. If people come in late, they know. They don't have to interrupt us by asking. They'll just read my shirt. If they can't figure that out, then they're probably from Nashville too. They probably have the same shirt. I also wear it in case I get lost. People know where to send me. It's kind of like a dog leash. I got my name and number written in the back. So you can always find me if you see me laying on the street. Just send me back to Nashville. I'll be good. One thing I noticed since living here in Chicago is the directions that you get from so many people. Y'all use the compass a lot here, as I understand. The first time I moved up here, I'm like, you know, how do you go to the store? They're like, go north 5 blocks, then go south 3. All right. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know which way is north or south or east or left or right or straight. Or I didn't bring my compass today. And it's so confusing because the one thing they taught me was like, just remember, the lake's always east. I can't always see the lake. And people ask me, because, you see someone, this is another reason I wear this shirt, because don't ask me for directions. But people will ask me. They'll be like, hey, I need to, get here. And I'm like, the lake's east. I usually throws them off and they just leave. And I keep going wandering around the city with my compass. Another thing here is my only phone here is a cell phone. Cell phones are about ridiculous. The signal on a cell phone, does it ever work? Because there's really never, the one time I get a full signal, if you do this, you're done. You're out. Your signal's gone. You have nothing else left. I got quite a few places that Verizon guy can go, and he ain't gonna be able to hear when he says, can you hear me now? Like my house. Come to my house. Come outside my house. Walk down the street. I can be standing in the middle of the ditch, and I'm sure I would still be like, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? And I hope I never get hurt and have to call 911, because I'm screwed. Or if someone breaks in my house and I have to climb under my bed, I'm like, hey, there's a guy in the house. And they're like, sir, are you there? And I gotta kind of scoot over. There's a guy in the house. Hello? In my house, there's a guy. Until I have to crawl out and I just get killed. Then I'm bleeding, having to run around with a knife in my back. I need an ambulance. What? I need an ambulance? If you don't mind, please. I don't know if this has to do with that, but what's the age where you're not scared of the dark? Because I don't know if I've hit it yet. This is why I'm standing in this little circle right here. If I go outside of it, I'm screwed. I'll never make it back. This is the only thing that I figured out. The age and the point to where you do it, or how you stop being scared of the dark, is you get married. And that's so you can have someone share your bed with you. So the monster now has got to decide between one of you. You might have a chance. And then the reason you have kids is so you pass them along to him, and then he leaves you alone the rest of the day. And then you're okay. And the thing about, when you were a kid, you were so scared of the dark, and you just hated it. Unless there was one other kid in there. Then if you had a friend over, then it's 2 8-year-old kids in the bed, and you're like, I'm feeling okay. Like the monster's down there going, Fred, Johnny's got someone to spend the night tonight. I don't know if I'd go up there. That's 2 8-year-old kids you got to mess with. It's probably not a good idea. Heard his parents are divorced though, so let's go after his dad. A game you used to play also when you're a kid is hide and seek, hide and go seek. I think that is a very, very fun game. I don't think it gets taken seriously enough though. Maybe when you were 10, when you would break your ankle to hide in the dryer so nobody could find you. And when you'd get those good spots where you'd be there for a good hour or so. And then you're like, I don't know if this is either a great, and you don't want to leave because it's a great spot. What if he sees you leaving? You can never go back. That's the dryer. Who thinks of the dryer? I thought of the dryer. I'm a genius. So then you got to go up there, and he's already quit. He quit 2 hours ago. He's like, I couldn't find you. I looked for a little bit. The Easter was just recently, and speaking of hiding, they had an Easter egg hunt, and the thing is now is when they hide the Easter egg, they just throw them out on the grass. It's not because I guess they want everybody to find an egg, make everybody happy. That's not how I did it. My dad would hide them on the roof. You'd be mowing the grass in August and run over an egg and be like, there it is. I found it. You climb trees, fall down and break the leg, get up, and you still had it. And then you open it, and it was the money egg, and it was worth everything, with $5 in it, and that's all you needed. Holidays are great, too. I remember the first time I met the Easter Bunny. He pulled up in my dad's car with his seatbelt on. My dad picked him up, I guess. He was about 6'5". I was wondering, I was like, that's a tall Easter Bunny. It's not what you think. I don't see how he snuck in my house. Santa Claus also is someone that... You're like, I don't remember asking Santa for socks. Where did he get that idea? Socks and a toothbrush. He's wasting two good presents on socks and a toothbrush. Did my mom talk to him when I left? Because I don't remember saying that. And then, then you got to go through the opening the presents and everything, and that's an awkward moment when you got to open presents. You don't know the reaction you're supposed to give, especially like, go ahead and open it now. We're going to watch you. And then you got to open it, whether you like. I mean, are you supposed to jump up and just start running around the room? I can't believe you got this. This is unbelievable. You're so happy. You're just there's not any good reaction. If it is a terrible present, you're like, yeah, all right, thank you. And if that joke went well, didn't it? Should probably work on that one. I got another little story is my family, they used to give, my mom's side of the family would give everybody the same present. That was just, everybody would get the exact same present. And my dad was actually telling me this story because he was before I was born. And he said that we have two people in our family and they're deaf. Well, this is the year when smoke alarms came out. So they got 2 smoke alarms. 2 deaf people got 2 smoke alarms. They didn't think about that, It's not a Braille smoke alarm either, where you walk by. It beeps real loud. So, and their house burnt down a couple of days later. I guess they didn't get the batteries in there right or something. Well, that is my time, and I'm Nate. Thank you.
My wife's always around too. I feel just always like near, especially about home. It's like I married a cat that I'm like, you just always on me. If I if I go to the bathroom, she's like, I'm gonna paint the bathroom door while you're in there. I'm like, you couldn't do it later? No, I had all the time to do it. I thought I'd wait till you went in, and that's when I was gonna start. If I eat something she doesn't approve of, she just pops up, man. I mean, I'll try to sneak it. I could eat an Oreo cookie in the attic at 3 a.m. and I would bet my life a light would cut on and she'd be like, what are you doing up here? And if I questioned it, it was like, what are you doing up here? She's like, I'm always up here. This is when I do my attic stuff.
Someone gave me an Under Armour shirt. Do you know those? It's like skin tight. It just shows the worst parts of your body. I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. Like in plastic surgery, how they draw like markers on you and stuff? Like they should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see we're going to go after the target areas. I always tell people I got to get back in shape, but I've never been in shape. So our DJ was awful, and that's because we got my mom to hire the DJ. I don't know who thinks to ask someone in their 50s for DJ recommendations. No one ever is like, Mom, were you in with the local DJ scene by any chance? She hired someone older than her He just had CDs, and this was when computers were doing real good. He got super drunk, played the same song 3 times in a row. White Wedding, which he said was by Billy Joel. He only had one leg, seriously, and that's fine, you know, no one cares until he starts messing up, and then you're like, why does he have one leg? I almost joined the Army when I was 18 just because they called. That was the only reason. I thought I got picked. I was like, oh, wow, this is an honor. Like, I also signed up for a JCPenney credit card at 18 because they called, and I was like, man, this day is getting crazier and crazier. I would love it. I would love a credit card. I just got called for the Army. I'll go get some stuff. My mom had to go get me out of all of that. My mom had to call the Army and JCPenney in the same day. She was like, he's not doing any of this. He got to the phone quicker than he usually does. So, out of all the years, this has been the best one. I mean, there's aliens. They said there's UFOs. And no one cares. That's... What kind of year could you have that you could sneak in? Hey, everybody, on the news, they're at the end of the news, they go, there's UFOs. And you're like, oh, do they have COVID? And you're like, no. Like, I don't know. They won't get tested. But we're going out to Mount Rainier, and I was with a buddy of mine. And Mount Rainier is it's the 3rd biggest mountain in America. It's a good one to go to. I don't know who number 1 or number 2 is, but maybe one day it will be number 1, you know? Do mountains keep growing? I don't think we know that yet. So it's a good time to see it. It doesn't have the attitude of a 1 or a 2. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge.